Lauren. I wanted to leave you some feedback on Essay 1. First off, let's talk a little bit about your formatting. You are missing your header over here in your right-hand corner, so make sure you include that. You're also missing your works cited page, so make sure you include that. And it looks like you are indenting a little extra here. You want to bring that over. And you also have extra spacing in between this paragraph here. You want to make sure that you close that up. So you got a few issues of a few issues with formatting. Same here with the title and the author. You need to format your title, so you want to capitalize the first letter of the most important words and includes the author's full name when you first introduce him. So I think that you have a good working claim. So it sounds like, in general, what you want to argue is that the use of force was justified. So I think you have a good working claim, but there's some things here and there that I want to talk to you about. So first off, this essay needs a round of editing. So this opening sentence alone, if you read this out loud, it's an awkward sentence. So there's some promising working ideas in this sentence, but this sentence needs editing. So if you read this out loud, I think you would understand what I mean. Down here, there's another awkward sentence. So there's awkward sentences throughout this essay. So do make sure that you are reading your essays out loud and editing for clarity before you submit them. Also make sure that you are editing for formal language. Like here, for example, in professional writing, you want to make sure that you're using formal tone at all times. In addition, you got some nice general ideas in the summary, but there's not enough background information to really understand what the story is about or what William's main purpose was. Because it's perfectly acceptable for you to think that the doctor was appropriate in using force. However, that's really not what Williams thinks. And in fact, Williams thinks that at best, there's a gray area, and probably at worst, I would say Williams wants us to question the doctor's actions. So while it's perfectly acceptable for you to have that stance, you need to remain true to what the author says in this text. In addition, you need to make sure that the claims that you are making are actually accurate. There was plenty of medicine during this time, and even before this time, we have been treating illnesses since ancient China, and the first vaccine was invented in the 1700s. So do make sure that the claims that you are making are actually valid, because that, of course, is going to hurt your credibility. This paragraph has some promise, but it doesn't really have a clear focus. And I think it's because you're starting off with a summary detail instead of a key idea. So you want to make sure that your paragraphs have clear focus, right? So it's nice that you give us this definition of diphtheria, for example, or this idea here, but they seem to shoot off in different tangents. So you want to make sure that your paragraphs are unified. Yeah. So and then I think this moment is a fair moment to be critical of what the girl is doing and be critical of what her parents do, but be certain that you remain true to the story, because this is the final line of the story. And the reason why she does this, if you remember, is because he just assaulted her, right? And he admits that he assaults her. So it's hard to simply focus on just saying that everything that the doctor did was right without pointing out his missteps, right? So you need to include the counter argument here too. And I think just ignoring the counter argument and just simply focusing on everything that he does, quote unquote, right, isn't remaining true to the story. And like I said here, you're not remaining true to what this evidence is really doing and saying in the story. So make sure that you do that. Um, in addition, one thing to keep in mind is the doctor also admits to taking all of his anger and directing it at her. And remember, he admits it multiple times in the story. He's not acting out of doctorly goodness. He's acting out of anger, right? He wants to hurt her. So, as I said before, I think it's fine to have the stance that you want to present, but particularly with this story, without presenting the counter argument, skeptical readers, the ideas are going to fall flat. So, I recommend including that, right? So, I think that this essay could use another round of revision, focusing on some clearer paragraphs, focusing on a clearer introduction, and giving it a thorough edit for sentence clarity. Also, make sure that you are citing your evidence. I don't see any in-text citations in here, so you need to make sure that you do that as well. So please let me know if you have any questions. All right. Thanks.